Alright, what's up, boys and girls? Got a video here today that I said was gonna be a fucking banger, and it's gonna be a fucking banger of a video. You can see by the title what we're gonna discuss. I got about 6 or 7 clips. We're gonna start off a little bit lighthearted, and then we're gonna get into more serious shit, and then it's gonna end pretty fucking sad, actually. The first clip we're gonna talk about is when he brought up taking his car into the shop a few months back. This is from July. I want to say July 1st. We're going to hear what he said, and then we're going to break it down. After that, we got some talks about Charities, what he thinks about Charities, mobile games after that, and then his honeymoons, or honeymoon, I should say. And with everything that came out with the leaks, well, we're just going to compare and contrast some stuff. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Part 1 is Auto Body Shop, less a fucking ago.
For my federal taxes. So I'm doing all this math, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, if I make the tips goal every stream, that was $100 tips goal, okay? If I make the tips goal every single stream between now and the day when my mortgage is due, excuse me, let me try that again. Between now and the day that I get paid by YouTube, okay? Plus the income I still have, plus the whatever I make on Patreon. So I'm doing all this math. I'm like, it might be like just enough to pay bills. It wouldn't even be enough so I would have money to go grocery shopping, to go to dinner with my wife once a week, to have any flexibility at all financially. Like, I would have none, zero. I wouldn't have any money at all for anything. Every dollar that I make that I have would go to a bill. And then on top of that, if anything were to come up, I have no money for it at all. Okay? So, and by the way, that's assuming that every single stream between now and the 21st of July, I'm making the $100 tips goal. That's assuming that, which is probably not going to happen. Let's be honest. There are slow streams. There's streams where I don't get a lot of stuff, and it's okay. Not every stream could be a crazy breakthrough, blow your socks off stream where everything is great when it comes to support. It's just not going to happen. Every single content creator out there that has a slow stream every once in a while, and it's okay to have a couple a week. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go crazy over it, but I'm just looking at it like, this is bad, because essentially I need to max every single stream and then some, and even then it looks like it's not enough. Okay? So I said, what can I do? Because I have nothing. I can't borrow from anything. There's nowhere to go to make up this money to pay for stuff. There's just not. There's nowhere to go. And on top of all of that, while all this is going on and I'm doing these calculations, guess what, guys? My car is in the shop today. Yeah, my car is in the shop. And I don't know what the bill is going to be when the car gets out of the shop. So that's not good. You know, I just said I literally only have enough money to pay things, barely, and now my car's in the shop. Yeah. Hopefully it's nothing big. And by the way, I don't think it's going to be anything big. I don't think it's going to be super expensive or whatever. But still, it's just another expense. Okay? It is just another expense on top of everything that I'm not planning on, I can't afford. You know? This sucks. So, here's the deal. Alright?
Alright, and this is why it's good to go back and watch these clips and just listen to them closely, because I could have sworn when I was just thinking about this off the top of my head that he had said that it was going to be a lot more expensive. That's just off the top of my head remembering. Now, I went back to his Twitter to around that date, and I don't know if he deleted the tweet or somebody else just heard something on the pre-stream and they ran with it. I couldn't find any mention to a tire, to the repair shop, to nothing. I saw a James the Lesser video doing my research where he responded to somebody who had said DSP had said $600 for a new tire, blah, blah, blah. I even found a Wings tweet where he said, how the fuck is it a new tire is $600? And then DSP responds to him directly and says, I never said that. I remember something about him saying it was going to be more expensive, but again, I can't find it. I don't know if he deleted the tweet. Whatever, who cares? But let's go back to the beginning of the clip. He's talking about if he hits the tips goal every day, he has just enough to pay his bills. What fucking world does he think everyone else lives in? How is 8 to 10K a month not enough to do more than pay your fucking bills, man? And this was post-bankruptcy, no less. You know, the best part of all this shit leaking is that he can't do this anymore. He'll probably try. Once things cool down, he'll probably try to, but, he's gonna get called on it immediately from fucking Snow Carl or one of these other fucking losers in there. And it's gonna be interesting to see how he reacts. It's gonna be interesting to see how long he thinks he can wait this out until he starts doing it again. But, just more bullshit. And then he wanted to use that, and this is a direct quote, "car is in the shop." He wanted to use that so bad to beg for money. I'm actually shocked that he even said, well, it's probably nothing big. It might be nothing big, hopefully. Fucking, this shocks me. And then he admitted a day or two, and I actually did found this clip, but I didn't fucking include it. He admitted a day or two later when he was playing, I think, Minecraft or one of his chill streams, that it was a tire patch. He actually came out and said it was a tire patch. Phil, I don't think your car goes into the shop for a tire patch, my friend. And then the leaks reveal that it cost him $22 at Firestone, and the date matches up to when he was saying this. $22. First off, that's expensive for a tire patch, motherfucker. I thought you were street smart. If you go into a tire shop in the hood, they'll charge you $7 to $8 to patch it for you, and to balance it as well. But I'm wasting my fucking breath even saying that. But he wanted to use that to beg. Whether his car was even in the fucking shop or whether he just went in there and got it patched and then left and paid $22 and then still tried to proceed to use it to beg, and it's just story after story with this fucking guy. You never know what the truth is. You never know what, when he's spinning bullshit. Just doesn't make sense. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next clip here. I believe this is going to be Charity. We're going to have two different clips regarding Charities and what Phil thinks about it, and we'll break them down. Let's go.
Thank you to Death Proof for the support. I appreciate that. Atrophied Slob did a 50-bit cheer and says, what are the last three selfless deeds you've done? Without any specifics, small donations. I donated a bunch of clothing. Well, that actually was a big donation. I donated a bunch of clothing and a couple donations here and there. Sometimes when you go to certain stores, they'll ask, hey, would you like to donate your change to a food bank? Hey, would you like to donate, $1 extra on your bill to help with this or that? And if I get presented with those opportunities and I can afford it, I actually usually do them. So that would be it. It would be I donated some clothes and I do those things. All right. But I'm not going to give you specifics. I've told you guys, I feel for me, charity is something that should be private. It should not be something that's done publicly in the public eye to give positivity and promotion to something, which is why many times over the years when people do these public things like the Ice Bucket Challenge many years ago, I say, no, I'm not doing that because I don't feel that's how charity should be. My personal belief is that charity is something you do to help and get no personal benefit from whatsoever, period. And that's why I would never do like a charity thing like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't tell you, oh, Phil, what's your favorite charity to support? I'm not going to tell you because that's not what it's about. Okay? That's how I've always been. That's always been my personal belief. I hope you guys understand that and respect that. All right, Baba Kazooie took me $1.30.
All right, so first off, Atrophied Slob. That's a great fucking name. Big ups on that. Stop giving him money, but that was a great fucking name, whoever that was. Second, I searched up Phil Burnell and Charity, and this is the picture that popped up. So apparently this is, no, I'm just kidding. But this is what Phil thinks about Charity, obviously. And then the question was, Phil, what are the last three selfless deeds that you've done? Now he says he donated a bunch of clothing, and that's a good thing. I can't lie. That's a good fucking thing if it's true. Because, of course, we have to question everything he says at this point. Sadly. But I'd like to believe he's telling the truth there and donated a bunch of clothing. I think most of us have done that at some point in time. So, Thumbs up for that. Good job, Philippos. Good job. And then this motherfucker proceeds to say he's done a few donations, quote, here and there. He's talking about rounding up his 30 cents. That's literally what he's talking about. And then a direct quote is, if I can afford it. Rounding up his change at the store or at restaurants, if he can afford it. This is what tells me he's probably fucking lying, that he doesn't do that. We saw Wing say recently that looking at Phil's DoorDash charges, he doesn't tip. Whether that's true or not, I don't fucking know. Maybe he's tipping cash. I doubt it. I know he has that DoorDash monthly pass. Maybe tips are included in that. I don't know, because I don't fucking DoorDash, obviously. But, even with that said, those aren't really good deeds, Phil. That's you being a fast food slob and then saying, yeah, keep the change. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. You atrophied slob. Great fucking name again. And then at the end, a direct quote. Charity is something that should be private. Unquote. He says you really shouldn't talk about it, is essentially what he's saying. Really, Phil. Really. Judging by the leaks, buddy, we don't see anything that you give to charity, motherfucker. So whether you're keeping it in private, and maybe you're doing, what's it called? When you commit your time instead of money. Community service, that's what it's called. Maybe he's doing community service. I think we know the answer on that, but he ain't giving no fucking money when it comes to his financials. He ain't giving his time to anybody. To the poor little starving kids or the St. Jude kids, here's 30 cents, keep the change. That's all Philly really has to say on that. Pressing X to doubt this bullshit. Next fucking clip.
I can't even ready up. The lobby's glitched. I can't even ready up in that lobby. Young millionaire cheered again. He says, what charity does money go to? Nothing. It's not a charity. It's a for-profit business. When you contribute, it's considered a tip, or contribution is not considered a donation to a charity. That is stupid to say. Nope, still glitched. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Nobody can play each other again. It's alright. I'm going to create a lobby. Last chance. Last chance here. After this, I officially give up. You know he wants to play fucking Third Strike.
He looks like a fucking predator, man. He looks like a fucking predator there. Nice glasses and vest, asshole. Fucking idiot. But, so he's begging for tips. Maybe he's thinking about holding a fundraiser or something. And somebody asked him what charity the money is going to. Okay, this is some of my favorite kind of bait because it's fucking true. Or at least it should be. It should be going to charity. And he gets pissed because he knows what he's doing is fucked up, but I love it. I love it. If you go back and watch these clips, man, it's so fucking obvious that he's buzzed. He has to lean in almost to the fucking monitor to see the cheer, to read it. Just the way he turns his head, it's so fucking obvious that he's buzzed yet. I don't know if he's drunk yet there, but given what we know now, he's clearly buzzed all the time on stream. But it makes sense though. How else could he do what he does sober? Who could fucking do that sober? You'd have to be drunk or just on something, man. And then he's getting angry and he's mashing on the buttons. And again, as usual, shout out to Jose and Goji Tanks. Y'all are doing the Lord's work, buddies. And it's hilarious because he tries to make a new lobby and the first two people in are Jose and Goji Tanks. I love it, man. And something that I'm noticing more is how often he clears his throat. Now, I'm used to him doing it, but it's starting to make sense to me. I used to drink a lot in my 20s and even into my early 30s. I used to drink a lot. Now, if we're talking a 7 night week, probably 4 nights out of those 7, I would fucking get plastered drunk. And I mean wasted, like to the point I couldn't drink anymore. But I quit drinking a few years ago, right? I rarely ever drink nowadays. I just don't have the stomach for it anymore. I get fucking sick. And I just can't deal with it anymore. And that's a blessing, honestly. That's a fucking blessing that happened. But I noticed that I have an issue with clearing my throat constantly nowadays. And I do have it all the time. And I would assume it's because of all the beer that I drank over the years. Just, probably damaging my throat or whatever the case may be. But, so to me, it makes sense why he does it all the time. And of course, most of us who do this have the common decency to wait till we're out of the room or to try and stop if people are around. I take extra strength Mucinex every day for this issue. So that way, if I'm at work, I'm not bothering people. If I go to my parents' house or something, or if I go to see somebody, I'm not doing it in their house. It's disgusting, man. And he just can't be fucking bothered. On camera around Kat, he seems to limit it. Whether he does that when they're just in the living room sitting there or at the dinner table, I don't fucking know. But, there's stuff you could do, man. Just try to be a decent person. Take 12-hour extra strength Mucinex. Take 2 of them if you need to because it helps, buddy. It fucking helps. But I guess that's too much to ask for this guy. So that's how we finish on Charity. The next one is going to... These fucking cars back here. The next one... Listen to that shit. The next one's going to be... Oh my god, this is hard to listen to. It's mobile games, and it's about Kat and his relationship and the promise that he made to her. This one is fucked up, and I broke it down into 2 parts. Let's fucking go.
I'm gonna add all these tips up and figure out how much it is. Michaela Sean's mom now took me another $5 about the Trader Joe's nonsense. Sorry, I'm not reading it this time. And Trigger took me $1.30. So I know you don't have to. Why not show us your phone that it isn't you? It would make them look stupid. All right. I've already explained this. This will be the final fucking time I explain this. I mean this now. All right. I'm done with this. After tonight, I'm done with the whole WWE thing. I'm taking so much time out to talk about it now instead of playing Street Fighter. I've had it with this subject. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I used to play mobile games. All right. In fact, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, I used to play mobile games. I publicly admitted to it multiple times. Over the years, I used to play mobile games. Yes, I used to even spend money on mobile games because I was a fucking idiot, okay? I played games like WWE Supercard. I used to play this game way before then that was like Marvel. I can't remember what it was. It was a Marvel card game, okay? I played WWE Immortals. I played the Mortal Kombat mobile game that was out. I played the Dragon Ball Z Budokai. No. There's a Dragon Ball Z card game with fighting that I played. I can't remember. Oh, Dokkan Battle. I played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And yes, I played some of this WWE gem matching game that they're still fucking talking about to this day. All right. When I basically started dating my now wife, okay, I basically said, I want to focus on real life stuff. I want to focus on spending time with this woman. I want to build a family, right? And for me, I actually found that during those years that I heavily played mobile games, that yes, I was wasting money on it, and yes, I was wasting a lot of time on it, okay? Admittedly, I will even go out, I've never said this before. I will say this publicly here tonight, all right? There were certain times when I was addicted to it. I played it too much. And that WWE Supercard game, I played it too much. There was like events where I was playing it like countless hours to earn a Hulk Hogan card and shit like that, okay? And people still make fun of me to this day for it because I publicly posted about it on my social media feeds like a fucking moron. Like I'm proud that I earned this rare Hulk Hogan card. In reality, nothing in mobile games matters. It's all just personal satisfaction, personal sense of accomplishment or whatever. But it's a money trap. It's a time trap. I learned that over the years of playing all these various mobile games. And so when my now wife, Kat, moved in with me over 2 years ago, I said, I'm basically not going to be playing these games with any kind of major time investment or money investment anymore. At that point, I couldn't do money investment anyway. I was broke. But basically, I was like, they can't do this anymore. And I made a commitment to her that I was not going to play mobile games a ton anymore. I say every once in a while, maybe you'll see me pick up the phone and play it or whatever, but that'll be it. Okay, it's going to be a casual thing to kill time. I want to spend time with my family. All right, and admittedly, I'll even say this. Admittedly, in the past, there may have been issues in my personal life because I played too many mobile games. And I know people will say, "Oh my God, we got to blow this up and talk about it all over the internet." It's true. I played them too much in the past. All right, I'm admitting that publicly to you all now. All right. That's why when I warn you guys about mobile games and I say, don't fucking go crazy with mobile games. It's a money trap. It's a big addiction. You will have issues in your life if you play mobile games in a major way. You may actually fall into this almost like constant microtransactions. You can't stop yourself. That's from me from years ago, telling you from my personal experience when I used to play WWE Supercard, how bad it got and how much money and time I wasted on that, okay?
All right, so that clip is from May 29th, 2020, right? And shout out to Mr. Huth in the DDM Discord. Now, I don't know whether that's Mr. Huth's stuff or not. I don't think it is, but he posted this picture in the Discord yesterday on Tuesday. And I hit him back and I said, you know, where did you get this from so I can give credit? He hasn't hit me back, unfortunately. Dark Dave said it might have come from Piece of Peace in his spreadsheet. I went to the spreadsheet and I didn't see this exact screenshot or this exact picture, so I don't know exactly. If anybody knows where this came from, you know, if somebody specifically posted this on Kiwi Farms and it's not Piece of Peace, please let me know in the comment section so I can at least update and pin the comment to who to give credit to. If it is Piece of Peace, shout out to you, homie. This is fucking tremendous work. But isn't it Shawn Michaels? That clip is from May of 2020. And the transaction history goes back to at least May of 2020. It's perfect. And look at that on your screen right there. $1,577 in the month of May between his Apple iTunes and PayPal transactions. Now, did you hear what he just said? Direct quote. I used to spend money on mobile games because I was a fucking idiot, unquote. I don't think anything has changed, you punk motherfucker. And Phil, he's trying to count the mobile games on his hand and in his head. Buddy, when you've played so many mobile games in your life that you struggle to remember them all, I think you've got a serious problem at some point. He called it the WWE gem matching game. Fuck out of here. Him saying he was addicted to it and played it too much. Now, Supercard was before my time. I didn't come in till 2017, right after the Escort saga. That's when I came in. But I've watched enough videos and I've read enough of the lore. And I know he was coming to streams late. He was playing the fucking game during his breaks and coming back from break late. You know, it was fucking with his schedule. And usually when stuff fucks with his, I hate to even call it work, but with his work life, it's probably fucking with his personal life too. And I can't help but feel like that's one of the reasons why Panda Lee left his ass. Why she just gave him a choice or just said, I can't deal with this anymore. And he chose mobile games over her. Obviously, that's speculation, but I can't help but feel that way. You know, look how much he's still blowing on mobile games. And look at this fucking picture. And again, I hope I can find out who to give credit for this picture for, because look at this. I'm not even going to break down the month by month. You can see it. It's so fucking sad, man. It's so fucking sad. And if it's like this now, imagine what it was like in the early to mid 2010s when he had all that fucking money. Imagine. You know, it's so sad listening to him explain this, and he knows how bad it is for him, and he just can't help himself. But he also says in this statement that he made a commitment to Kat when she moved in. What happened, Phil? What happened, man? You know, and you wonder why people speculate that y'all are like roommates and it's not a real loving relationship. You know, and add in the fact that he says he never sees her except for the one day off a week they have together. And even then it's running errands all day, blah, blah, blah. You know, It's no wonder why probably both of them stay drunk all the fucking time. It's no wonder, man. Look at the life they're living. But anyways, we're going to listen to the next clip. It's from the same clip, but it's just going to get a little deeper, and then we'll see what we got afterwards.
How bad it got and how much money and time I wasted on that, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I have not played any major mobile game in over 2 years, okay? Truth, right now, I have not played any mobile game in any major way in over 2 years, including this fucking WWE game that these idiots keep bringing up. The stupid shit because someone has my Twitter handle in the game is not fucking me. It might have been a fan of mine, or it might have been, who knows, right? But for me to pick up my phone right now and waste time downloading the game and showing you, oh, here's my login and everything. Number one, that's giving them exactly what they want. That's giving them the time and attention that they crave. I refuse to do that. Number two, that's giving you personal information. I will show, if I even show you a thing on my phone, they'll find something on there to fuck me over. They'll say what phone service I have, some information on the dashboard of my phone. They'll find a way to fuck me because they've done it. They found stuff on my desktop, on my computer when I'm streaming. They fuck with that. They find a document sitting on my top of my fucking table downstairs, and they fucking call my electric company and turn off my electricity. Okay? They'll do something fucked up. In addition, I'll tell you this. The login that I used for this fucking Champions game is a login that I've used for other things all across the internet over the years. They will use that login to backwards search the internet and find shit and fuck me over with all kinds of shit. They've already gotten old passwords and shit. That's how insanely obsessed these fucking people are. They find one piece of information and they do things you would never fathom, and then they fuck with my life. They've done this time and time and time again over the years. I'm not going to put myself into harm's way for something that is so ridiculously untrue. I'm so tired of these idiots bringing the same nonsense up over and over again. It's like, how many times can you beat the dead fucking horse? Is nothing you're doing in regards to the mobile game can hurt me because I got my bankruptcy. You lied for 4 fucking months. Yeah, you annoyed the shit out of a lot of people, including myself and other parties. It's over. It's over. You're wasting your fucking time. I wonder if they're harassing this fucking guy. Again, I don't know if this guy was a troll of mine or who was trying to impersonate me, or maybe he was a fan of mine. Maybe he's just someone with dumb, bad fucking luck to have the same name as my Twitter handle. But if they're still bothering this guy like 5 months later, holy fucking shit, dude. Get a fucking life. Look in the mirror, realize you're a fucking loser. Oh my God. I seriously can't believe it that this is still going on. This is still fucking going on.
Holy fucking shit, dude. Get a fucking life. Look in the mirror and realize you're a fucking loser. Isn't it Shawn Michaels? I have no sympathy, pity, empathy towards you, nothing. And it's because of shit like this. Let's go back to the beginning. Direct quote. I have not played any major mobile games in over 2 years. Truth. Unquote. Go back and watch his eyes when he's saying that. His eyes are shifting so much. He's literally looking everywhere except the camera when he says that. Speaking of the camera, how can this motherfucker sit there and even once look straight down the barrel of the camera and say this shit? Have you ever tried to lie to someone while looking straight at them? It's probably one of the fucking worst feelings in the world that I've ever had, and it's probably why most of us can't do it. It's terrible when you try to look at somebody and lie to them, or just even try to omit something that's, even small, but still, man. You feel terrible doing that shit. And Phil, man, bro, you should have, now obviously this is hindsight, but you should have just shown your phone. You've shown it multiple times since then. Obviously what you were saying there made zero sense. You should have shown your phone or told the truth from the start, Philip. Let this be a lesson to you, dipshit. You lied and lied and lied, and look what happened. They dug and dug and dug until they hit a gold mine. And now the only thing you can do is ignore it completely and tell everyone that you're just here to play video games and have fun. But wait a minute, pal. Just a week ago, you were begging and pleading for money to help. You needed it really, really bad. What happened? What changed in a week to make you act so different all of a sudden? And again, that's why you get no sympathy from me, bitch. And he goes on to say, direct quote, by the way, I got my bankruptcy. You know, he thinks that's a win or some bullshit. I got my bankruptcy. It's fucking mind-boggling, man. And by the way, shout out to Retro Dude Man X. Now, I didn't include the screenshot because he said this a couple of days ago, but I saw him say hashtag overturn the bankruptcy. Now, that's never going to happen. Nancy was so fucking incompetent to not be able to see this. She even asked for PayPal statements and checking account statements, and somehow he still got the bankruptcy. To me, it doesn't even matter that he was blowing it on mobile games to me. Once you go bankrupt, you're fucking bankrupt. It doesn't matter why it happened. As long as it's not illegal, it doesn't matter, man. They looked at the fucking statements and said, this guy doesn't have any money. All these PayPal transactions, he probably tried to explain it as business expenses, $5K a month, blah, blah, blah. He lied. But at the end of the day, he just didn't have money and she just let it fucking ride during COVID, etc. Plus, she was a boomer and didn't know what she was talking about. But shout out to Retro Dude Man X. Hashtag overturn the bankruptcy. And then just the way he ended it with get a fucking life, look in the mirror and realize you're a fucking loser. Isn't it Shawn Michaels? Let's go to the next clip.
Is wrong. You know, my mom did not agree with me leaving Connecticut at all. She wanted me to stay in Connecticut my whole life. Even though I told her a million reasons why I didn't want to leave. I had to get out of there. I hated it. And it was too expensive. Like a million reasons why I wanted to get out. She always wanted me, to stay with her. Well, with my parents. So that they could be close by or whatever. I told them a million times, then move with me. Move with me to a better place. Get out of the ghetto that you live in. You can't be there your whole life. You can't be in a situation where you go outside, you could get shot. You know, but they don't listen. You know, they don't listen. They're set in their ways and they do what they want. So basically it started off the conversation was that my mom wanted to pay for Kat and I to go on a honeymoon. All right. And there were no specific discussions about any of that. Like where would it be or whatever. But basically I told my mom, I said, like, I appreciate that. That's amazing. And quite frankly, I doubt Kat and I will ever be able to go on a honeymoon together. Just being very honest, at this point, unless I get myself out of the financial rut I'm in, there was no way that I would be able to go. But I told her, I mean, being straight up honest with you, and this is Kat and I had talked about this previously, it's a no-go. We can't go on a honeymoon. I'm in a situation where I can't take time away from work. Already this week that I was away to be with my parents and for the wedding, already I had probably lost thousands of dollars that I would have made on the streams and the videos on YouTube. And that's money I need to pay my bills. And I'm not in a financially feasible situation where I could take time away from work in a significant amount of time anytime soon. We're talking years now, probably before I'll be in a better financial position where maybe I could do that. Number two,
So imagine that. Your parents, or your mom at least, is pleading with you to stay close to them. And what do? You move to the other side of the country. You know, I understand that people have to move away and break free and, do it for independence reasons or just for whatever. I understand, man. But, this dude is practically a fucking toddler. He doesn't know how to do anything for himself. He didn't know how to cook until his mid-20s, laundry until early 30s. He owns no tools. He can't fix anything. He didn't change his oil in his BMW. A tire patch is a day in the shop for him. And he leaves behind the only people that probably truly love him and help him. For what reason, I don't know, but he goes across the country. Whatever, man. And then he talks about some honeymoon conversation with his mom. I wonder if that shit ever even happened. It's sad to think about. But when a person is willing to lie about everything, man, how can you fucking believe anything they say? So we're supposed to believe you allowed your parents to pay for your plane tickets, your hotel, your rental car, your wedding, and by the way, they even paid for his Wi-Fi on the plane so he and Kat could, and I quote, maybe play some mobile games. Now that wasn't in this clip, but I know y'all remember that bullshit. Don't forget about that. But them paying for a honeymoon as well was too much. I mean, you see how it doesn't add up with this guy, man? Then another direct quote. I doubt Kat and I will ever be able to go on a honeymoon together. Unless I get myself out of the financial rut that I'm in. Unquote. Since then, now this clip was 2.5 years ago, right when he came back from getting married in, I believe, April of 2019. Since then, this dude has gotten a bankruptcy. You know, he stopped paying on the Connecticut condo. He got a bankruptcy approved. And by the way, he still continued to make 8 to 10K a month. Think about that, man. When somebody declares bankruptcy, it's usually a last-ditch effort and they have no other options. He was making a ton of money and still continues to make that same amount, if not more. You know, he could have paid everything down, but instead he chose mobile games, DoorDash, gin, and whatever the fuck else he was wasting money on. You know, it's so sad, man. And honestly, that's probably why he really left Connecticut in the first place. He probably knew his parents wouldn't fucking allow him to live like this, or he'd constantly have to hear about this shit. And that's probably the real reason why he left. Then towards the end of the clip, he can't take any time away from work. He has to be there every day for you guys and for himself. It's almost like an excuse for him to just stay inside all day and never have to face anyone or any responsibilities. He just wakes up hungover, plays mobile games, gets in front of the camera, doesn't change out of his pajamas, doesn't fix himself up, burps and clears his throat and snorts, plays video games, looks at chat, bans people, begs for money. It's a fucking excuse. To me, it's an excuse to just stay in there and do that every day and never have to face any responsibility whatsoever. And, you know, I cut the video in half here for a reason. I want you to listen closely to what he's about to say in the next clip. We have one more after this one, but just listen to what he's about to tell you.
And I said this very honestly, and this involves you guys, okay? I said, I'll be honest with you, right now, I posted up pictures of the wedding yesterday, and I can already see the 50-50 split of the way that people have reacted. You got the 50% of the people who like what I do and love me and trust in me and believe that even though I needed all this help with taxes, that I did not come out here and spend my own money and spend money on this trip. And then you got the other half of the people who just hate my guts and literally now are saying so many nasty things about Kat and I on our wedding day. And this is what I live with. This is the dichotomy that I live with in my life, that I have staunch supporters and people who just hate my guts. And I said, now, can you imagine? Let's say even in a year's time, can you imagine if I tried to go on a honeymoon when I'm probably still in a financial position where I need help on streams, people to be supportive or whatever with, you know, with their contributions and all of that. And all of a sudden, oh, by the way, even though you guys, you know, you helped me out a lot with everything going on financially, I'm going to go on a vacation now. All expenses paid. Huh? You know, that doesn't jive. And I honestly, I wouldn't feel in good faith. I wouldn't feel okay with going on a vacation with Kat, even if it was paid for, with the situation back home. Here's the thing. When I went to visit...
All right, so it starts off with him making excuses. And he says, direct quote, even in a year's time, can you imagine if I tried to go on a honeymoon when I'm probably still in a financial position where I need help on streams and people to be supportive or whatever with their contributions and all of that. And all of a sudden, oh, by the way, even though you helped me out a lot financially, I'm going to go on a vacation now, all expenses paid. Huh? That doesn't jive. And honestly, I wouldn't feel in good faith. I wouldn't feel okay going on a vacation with Kat even if it was paid for with the situation back home, unquote. And he means his situation back home in Renton. Now, at the beginning, he said even in a year's time. As I said a little while ago, it's been 2.5 years since this was recorded. This guy said he wouldn't feel right in good faith going on a vacation with his supporters' contributions. Gee, Phil, I would imagine that your supporters would probably feel better with you going on a vacation as opposed to lying to them for money. And then it gets exposed that you don't really even need the fucking money, but you've been feigning distress for years now. So you could play your mobile games, spend it on fast food, spend ridiculous amounts of money at the liquor store every week. You know, I think your fans are the ones who shouldn't feel right, in good faith, of course, about continuing to give you money that you don't really need. Especially when you're lying to them about it. And make no mistake, man, you've clearly been lying to them for years. You fucking scumbag. But just the way he looked at the fucking camera and said that, man. Look down the barrel of the camera and then go back to that screenshot earlier from wherever Mr. Huth got it from, if it's piece of peace or whatever, and look at those fucking numbers. I mean, I don't even know what to say after a certain point, man. This dude is a liar, a scammer. He's all of those things that everybody says about him. And he sits there and just deflects it all away with criticism and detractors and conspiracy theories. And look at him. You know, the next one's the last clip, and it comes from a little later on in that video. And again, I ended with this one for a reason. Let's fucking go.
I don't know. So anyway, that's the deal. That was the trip. All questions answered, guys. Literally, I think I've covered everything now. Everything you've heard from the assholes who talk shit about me and say I'm a scammer is complete lies. None of it's true whatsoever. Everything during this trip was paid for by my parents, including they made up the rest of the money that was needed to get me on this payment plan for the back taxes. And basically moving forward, I am going to keep working my butt off for you guys. We're going to keep doing fun streams every day and being positive and fun and happy. And my plan is to make life changes behind the scenes that will not affect any of you. You're not going to care what I'm paying and what I'm not paying behind the scenes. But basically, I'm staying in this house no matter what. This is the thing that gets paid no matter what. But everything else is going to go to hell. My credit's going to get ruined. There's nothing I can do about it. And hopefully the long-term plan is I can pay down the things that I do owe that I can't get out of my name. Like the house, when it's foreclosed on, that's not my problem anymore. But credit cards and stuff, they're not going to just go away. So hopefully, I can pay off enough and pay it down enough that eventually I can get another job. All right. And not to say that I'm going to quit streaming. I'm not, but maybe balance another job with this long term. Again, this is 5-10 years down the road more than likely because my credit is going to be ruined and I have to pay things down over time. But that's kind of the long term plan. Is I realize now I want to do this as long as I can, but I can't do it forever. My mom's right. She's looking at me. She's like, you're so stressed. Your life is fucked. You should be going out on you can't even go on a honeymoon that I want to pay for you to go on with your new wife because of the life that you're in. So you got to get out of it. And she's right. Okay, let's do some shout outs.
Absolutely incredible. I was going to start right there, but let's go back to the beginning. He says, everything you've heard from the assholes or the detractors who talk shit about me, that I'm a scammer, is a complete lie. None of it's true whatsoever. And he says everything was paid for by his parents. Everything. Like I said earlier, Jifa, I doubt they paid for your in-flight Wi-Fi so you could play your mobile games. Piece of shit. Then he talks about life changes behind the scenes that he's going to make that doesn't affect the viewers. His life changes was declaring bankruptcy and stop paying on the Connecticut condo. Those are big life changes. Declaring bankruptcy and quitting your obligation on a fucking property that you signed up for. Those are behind the scenes life changes. And by the way, how the fuck are you still holding fundraisers for yourself to pay your bills after these big life changes? It's almost like you're lying, Phil. And he talked about another job. Didn't we just hear of this answer recently for the 10-year plan and the job question? And wasn't his answer, huh? What are you talking about, idiot? You know, his mom said that he was so stressed. It's funny how we talk about this all the time, how everybody else says the exact same thing that Phil says in his minds, a lot of people. You know, but he says that his mom said that he was so stressed, and if she only fucking knew, man. His mom said that, and this is a direct quote, his mom said that he can't even go on a honeymoon with his new wife that she wants to pay for, by the way, because of the life that you're in. And then he says that she's right. Again, if she only knew. And I chose to end with this clip for a reason. Yes, she's right, Dark. And if you're just going to sit back and ignore the trolls and detractors, and you're just going to block out what anyone in your streams has to say, and you clearly don't care enough about your wife to take her on a honeymoon or to try to improve y'all's life as a couple, as a married couple, then maybe you should listen to your mom of all people, man. Probably one of the only people left on this earth that truly loves and cares about you. And assuming this conversation even took place, and it's sad that we even have to question it, you really need to listen to her advice and make some kind of change, man. You know, if not for yourself, then for your parents at least. Because as you keep saying, that could have been the last time you ever see them. And I have a feeling your addictions and your lifestyle are only going to get worse once they're gone. You need to make a fucking change. For yourself, yes, but for them too. But I think I already know the answer to this. Anyways, that's this video. I said on Sunday, I think it was, that I was going to take a couple of days and have a real video out. So hopefully it was worth the wait. I'll probably have something else up Friday or Saturday. I got an idea on something else, but just going to see how long it takes. You know, I don't really have anything else to say, man. I ended with that for a reason. I know he's not going to listen, but man, it is what it is. Technically, it doesn't have any effect on our lives, but whatever, man. Fucking whatever. Thank you again for liking the video, subscribing, the comments, showing up to the premiere. Again, I'll have a video out in a couple of days. I will talk to y'all very, very soon. And as always, let's fucking go.